Well, welcome the people who are here so far. I guess we're just kind of ease in here. Um, I am Joe Rotondi. I'm a co-founder of Unit, which I'll explain a little bit about what Unit is in a minute. Unit has a bunch of uh, Unit is we're building the sort of the number one token builder out there. If you like, you can maybe just take 5 seconds, you go create your own token, and you get a bunch of tools with it. And we're built on the you haven't missed a speaking engagement. Nice. We're built on the on Substrate on Polkadot, and essentially what we're doing is kind of building the United Nations of blockchains. Polkadot is the interoperability of blockchains. Binance Smart Chain is one of those. Ethereum, we've had the World Bitcoin Forum, World Ethereum Forum, World Polygon Forum, and a series of other ones that are all meant to sort of bring together the token economy. I think that people, as they sort of look forward, even people who are fairly cutting edge investors in the crypto space, they may be looking and saying, hey, the community tokens are going to be a really big deal, but how do you value those? Like what? Maybe Disney has a big brand, but and they have a community, but how's that going to be connected to the world of actual discernible value, things like that. So maybe I'll just intro a little bit about what Unit is, and then we can get into why we're talking about Binance and integrating other blockchains. So as I say, Unit is building this token builder, and when you build a token, you get a bunch of different tools with it. One of the main things is that or one of the driving sources of value is this new concept of essentially like a balance sheet, so to speak. So if you have, let's say, Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other, BNB, any of the tokens, if no one wants them for whatever reason tomorrow, there's no floor price to them. They just fall to zero. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if that were the case, it's demand driven and maybe limited supply. And in the case of Binance, they earn income and they burn them, but still it's the limited supply and the demand that comes from that burning or from other people buying it that gives it the demand, supply, and balance that pushes up the price with more demand. With Unit, if you create your own token, and there are 5 levels of tokens, they feed into each other. But if you create your own, and I'll tell you what those are in a second. But when you create your own token, you get this this concept of a bank and a treasury. Okay, and they're transparent. You can see what's in the bank, what's in the treasury. So let's say Jessica, you have you wanted to create your own personal token or a business that you have, and I know that you are involved in lots of different things. So you could tokenize any business, tokenize yourself, tokenize an industry or a city or a brand or an idea or a project or a research project, any kind of a thing. So when you do that, let's say it's your own personal token. So Jessica, Ankur here wants to buy. So you create 100,000 Jessica tokens. You go on unit.network, you have 100,000, and you give the name, the description, the number of them, and you have 100,000 of them. So now, but you want to raise some money to do something. So maybe you want to promote a new brand or something. So now you sell 10,000 of those Jessica tokens to Ankur, and that's 10% of them, right? So 10% of the Jessica tokens. Now, what do you raise money in? Well, you could, let's just say for simple numbers, you're doing it in dollars. So it's not in dollars, but $1 per Jessica token. But you don't do it in dollars on Unit blockchain. You use the digital assets of the reserve assets of the digital era. It's not gold because you can't store gold on a blockchain. It's not dollars because it's the fiat currency that's losing value. We use Bitcoin. We couldn't have created this more than maybe a few years ago because we didn't have digital stores of value that were sort of recognized. So we use Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Polkadot, Matic. There are a couple other ones that are not coming to mind, but yeah. So there, I think there we have 9 reserve assets let's just say you use Bitcoin. So Ankur buys $10,000 worth of Jessica, or 10,000 Jessica tokens for $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. So now that Bitcoin goes into Jessica's bank. The bank is accessible to Jessica, to you, Jessica, as the operator of the Jessica token. So let's say you're taking that, what's in the value, what's in the bank, and it's essentially like working capital. You can go use it, and everyone can see how much is in the bank. It's a leaderboard of owners of the token, and in this case, Ankur is the only other owner than you, but there's 10% for him, 90% for you. So you take that value and you go spend it on building the brand or whatever you wanted to do with it. All right. Now you also have the power as the operator to move what's in there in the bank into the treasury. And what's in the treasury is not accessible to you as the operator. It's accessible to anyone who owns the token. So it's kind of like paying like a dividend to the owners of the token. So now Jessica has 90% of the tokens, Ankur has 10%. What that $10,000 of Bitcoin that you move into the treasury is now acting as a floor price on the Jessica token. So if nobody wants Jessica token trading around in the market, which on Unit we have a DEX, the sort of a liquidity pool Uniswap type of thing, with USDU, the unit, the dollar, and Jessica token. So there's creating a market price. But now that won't fall below 10 cents because it's 10 cents per Jessica token that's in the treasury. So and since anyone can go in and take it out, that it won't fall below that price, because if it did, the Jessica token holders would go and take out what's in the treasury. So what happens then is you get three levels of value. What's that base level, the treasury value, sort of like a book value, and then the trading level, what it trades around at. And now you can kind of see like how much has gone, how much is in the treasury, how much has gone in the treasury in the last like month, 6 months, year, 5 years, right? And so that's kind of like an earnings number. Now we're starting to look like a little bit like a traditional accounting, but remaking the global accounting system at scale. We don't need GAAP accounting standards, US GAAP accounting standards, European standards, Chinese opaque standards, and worry about whether it's actually correct. Everyone can see exactly how much has gone to the bank and how much has gone to the treasury. And you can see over time how much has gone to the treasury. So now you start to see like a price to earnings ratio, right? Like a discounted cash flow, how much has gone in the treasury in the last period of time. And then also like Jessica's communicating using a bunch of other tools with her token, with all the people out there like, hey, this is how we're going to do. And we plan on making more, earning income from this or whatever. So you can kind of, in the future, like look in the future and say, hey, I think there's going to be more income from this. So maybe now the token will trade at like, but I mean, the Apple stock trades at 30 times earnings, right? So maybe Jessica token, instead of having 300 million stock buyers in the world, you get 6 billion people in the world who can buy a token that she just went public with instantly. And maybe they pay 100 times or 200 times expected earning, or last year's earnings, let's say. So let's say she's making $1 million a year, and now it's that's $10 per token going in the treasury. Maybe it'll trade at $1,000 each, right? So it's 100 times earnings. What does that mean? Now, Ankur has 10,000 Jessica tokens worth $1,000 each. That's $10 million. Jessica has 90,000 Jessica tokens worth $1,000 each. That's $90 million. So very quickly, people, just takes a couple of people to sort of show that, oh, this is like a superior way to take my income, from a job I have. You don't have to sell tokens to start with to have a new venture. It's just I have income, and it's better to put it in, instead of a Bank of America account in the US or Deutsche Bank or wherever you're from, to essentially have a publicly traded token that represents your income. Okay, so that's two levels of value: the treasury, what it trades at, and then the highest level of value, the cool thing that really makes it a community token, is now the Jessica token. You might take it as payment for whatever you're selling, right? And to induce people who own this valuable thing it's a stake in your success, your future success, to induce them to give up some of it, you have to pay a little bit more. Like it's sort of like so what's paying more? It means a discount to the person who owns it. So you give them a little bit of a discount, like a loyalty discount, and now you create a situation where everybody who owns a stake in you is also a customer, and every customer is also an owner. And so we really merged the interests that have been divorced before until this point of customers and employees, and then the owners and the investors getting wealthy, or just, at least owning it. Now everyone cares about it. And that what happens then? The pie gets so much bigger, because now people who are customers and owners together, the customers are going out looking for new business for the place that they're a customer of. So it's very cool. It's a very positive feedback loop that we're building, and sort of, I think it's really cool. And one of the big initiatives, we have 5 initiatives around this unit right now, is we call it CVMUN, Caveman. So conferences is 1, C. V is for ventures. And so we're helping seed, helping people that want to tokenize early and be great case studies and show everyone how useful it is. M is for masters, and I think we're on the 7th cohort now of a 6-week master's program, where we have the top level speakers and people in the crypto space, founders of companies and founders of projects and protocols and different things, offering students essentially mentorship, and I think we have maybe 800 people, 900 people signed up for cohort 6 that just finished. We're started cohort 7 this week, actually, this past week. So I guess we're a week into it. So that's CVM. U is for university. We're building the top token economy, essentially Wikipedia and news. So we'll have the top token economy news source. All these are meant to sort of like, and any token, when you create that, those are some of the tools you get. So now you get a bunch of promotional tools for your own token, and you get metrics to show like people that you bring on your team, like how many people they brought on your team through, referral links and all kinds of cool stuff. So, but there are 5 levels of tokens, and then that first level is these level 1 tokens. So that's how that connects. Maida just had how that connects. That's how that connects to people here. Well, to Binance, that first level of token is BNB is one of those. So as I mentioned, we had the World Bitcoin Forum, World Ethereum Forum, World Binance Forum that we're having now. We had a couple of other ones. And this is, as we're starting to go live, it's sort of like the inaugural one. So we kind of, every 6 months, like every month or so, you get together with your poker friends or something and play poker. Well, every 6 months, people in the Binance ecosystem, in the Ethereum ecosystem, get together and share ideas and present and tokenize, because as you start to you see the value in it yourself, you're sharing, you're networking, connecting, sharing ideas, what you're seeing out there. But it's not just in those level 1 tokens, right? These ecosystem proven ecosystem tokens. Those are the level 1. That can be invested in the level 2, which is the unit token treasury. And now you can see what's in the unit token treasury. Level 2 unit can be invested in level 3, which is industries and cities. So, and they feed into each other. Level 1 goes to 2. Level 1 and 2 can be invested in industries and cities. So let's say we have in industries, we might have fitness token, music token, movie token, right? And we're opening tokens with all these things and seeding them with massive amounts of capital. With capital. So we're raising $150 million each for all these industries and cities. And the cities would be like New York token, Shanghai token, Bali token, where I am, for example. And so all this capital is it's taking all the world's value, that's off in the analog world, and giving it a place to go on blockchain. That's, we're in this mass adoption cycle of blockchain. Well, I think one of the big things that's missing, maybe the primary thing that's missing, is an easy way to value things and see what it's worth. It's not, you get all these naysayers out there saying that, well, this is a bubble. What is it? It's nothing. It's a token. It sounds like you're going to a video arcade, Well, if tokens have value and you can see it, it's just, then it really can draw all that capital permanently, not just in a bubble and then a big bull market, bear market cycle, but instead take it and put it on the blockchain permanently. So those industries and city tokens, then once they have capital in there, like people, the fourth and fifth level tokens are essentially projects or agencies and projects, but they're kind of the same concept. Though, like if you're a musician, you start a new, your song brand, you go, okay, well, I want to earn music token because it's a valuable thing. It's not just a name. in the pre-blockchain era, you could have a music group on Facebook, but what's that worth? It's just, your high school buddies or something. So, but if you have value in a music token treasury, then anybody around the world would want to earn it. So what we're doing here is we're building this Binance ecosystem, and before we really go live and have the ability to for everyone to tokenize and share tokens and trade them with each other and own a stake in each other, we're sort of seeding the Binance ecosystem here, and I think that as it grows in 6 months, we'll have a really big exponential growth around that. So I'm super excited, and I think I think it's going to be a good road ahead, and I appreciate everyone for being here for our inaugural event. So maybe I'll just if anybody want to just shoot questions in the chat, or doing that the whole time when anyone's talking, and at the end of their talk they can answer if anybody wants to pipe up. That's cool too. It's amazing. Ankur says, "Wow, that's awesome." I think that was at the beginning there. Oh, for being up so late. Nice. Yeah, so I think that maybe we can do a little bit of a summary of sort of the Binance Smart Chain and Binance overall. We also had the World Unit Forum, I think it was about a month ago, to sort of like have one talk on each of these crypto ecosystems, and then like we had the World Music Forum last week. So it's not just the level 1 tokens. We have the the World Sports Forum, World Music Forum, and then the World Bali Forum, New York Forum. So it was really like a nice sort of nice army, or I don't know, nice army of people all going in the same direction, organized like for the capital to flow correctly and spread across the world and democratize access to that value. But for Binance, in the World Unit Forum, I did the talk on the sort of the background of Binance, and that was I'll share my screen for a minute here. You guys see it? Okay. So Binance has many faces. When you say Binance, people don't necessarily know what you're talking about, because it could be the exchange, it could be the Binance chain, which is more of a decentralized exchange, sort of built directly on a new chain. Binance Smart Chain, which gave sort of programmability to it, kind of gave it Ethereum ability. So that's why it has many faces. But CZ is the founder of this name, so I guess he's the tribute. We should pay a short tribute to him, at least starting off this forum. So yeah, he's got a significant tech background and founded it in 2017. We've got the Binance coin, Binance.com, which Binance has had some regulatory issues around the world, and not been able to operate in exactly the way they want in some places, so they keep changing around the headquarters and trying to adapt to government decrees. So for example, Binance.us, it had to come into existence because Binance.com wasn't allowed to operate in the US, and there's also some issues with the UK and some other places too. Yeah, so Binance.com, you can see it there. It's still the world, but despite all the maybe inviting the regulatory scrutiny, is being the world's largest centralized cryptocurrency exchange, the largest exchange, central or not, or decentralized, by volume. And this was taken back in September, this picture, but still generally holds true. Binance has the most volume traded every day. And here's a picture. Here's a sort of the regulations across a bunch of different countries. Just a sort of summary of that. Binance.us, that's the UI there. I guess the front page, so you can kind of see what that looks like. But where is it? So that's the question. Founded in China and then moved to Japan before China banned. In a different era, they banned crypto in 2017, and then they banned it again just recently. They have an office in Malta, and then I thought it was funny last year. CZ Changpeng Zhao said that wherever he needs somebody, there's a Binance office. So it's where we want things to go in crypto, and to not have any particular space be a central point of failure to be attacked. These numbers are a little bit old, but the market cap. But yeah, so it's the native. The Binance is the native coin of the exchange and the Binance chain and the Binance Smart Chain. So when you do a transaction on the Binance chain or Binance Smart Chain, you use a little bit of BNB as gas to do a trade. And that gas, maybe I can just focus on that for a second. That gas is a lot cheaper. It's a lot less used than Ethereum. So Binance Smart Chain was kind of created in response to Ethereum because of the high fees you had to pay on Ethereum. So that's proof of stake. Ethereum has Ethereum has proof of work still, but they're going towards proof of stake, which limits the amount of energy used and a number of other things. But delegated proof of stake, in this case, in the Binance Smart Chain way, it's quite a bit more centralized. It's 21 delegated verifiers, or I don't know what the word is now, but yeah, the people that secure the network. And so it's pretty much a relatively central point of failure. So it's a little bit of in CZ we trust at this point on that, but it's still the Binance.com exchange does take a lot of their income and burn BNB tokens every quarter, every quarter. So it's kind of like you're buying into a business without the traditional accounting structure, because you can see how much they burned, and they say this is how much of our income that we used to burn it. But so that's a little bit of an overview of Binance without going too deep into it.